What would you feel if 17 trades in a row closed at a loss? What would your account statement look like? Would there be anything left of your deposit? Here's what 17 consecutive losing trades look like on my account, and honestly, it doesn't bother me at all, because my stop losses are so small compared to my take profits that the very next 2 trades covered the entire losing streak. 2 trades. My win rate is 34%. That means 66% of my trades close at a loss, and yet my account grows like it's on autopilot. I grew it 7x in 5 weeks. No emotional breakdowns, maximum drawdown just 25%. And keep in mind, that account was running at least 10x more risk than I normally use on my main accounts. Scale that back to normal risk levels, and you're looking at a 2.5% drawdown with 60% return over the same 5 weeks. That's not a typo, that's just math. And the only reason it's possible is second-based charts. When you're using second-based charts to time your entries, you can get in with surgical precision, and when you're wrong, you take a tiny stop that doesn't even register emotionally. You stay clear-headed, you keep reading the market, you move on to the next setup without carrying any baggage from the last one. Now compare that to trading standard time frames like M5 or M15. Every stop loss hits you like a punch. The frustration builds up, and then you start making mistakes you can barely explain when you review your trades later. Revenge trades, oversized positions, ignoring your own rules. You're not trading the market anymore, you're fighting it, and the market doesn't even know you exist. On second-based charts, there's nothing to fight. You're just moving with the flow. You don't need to forecast where price will be in 6 months. I know traders who spend hours studying weekly charts, absolutely convinced they've spotted a setup that only happens once a decade. And even if they're right, the odds of actually profiting from it are slim. Chances are they'll get stopped out on some false move before price ever gets there. Risk to reward is the only thing that determines whether your strategy makes money or loses it. I'd bet your entries are actually pretty solid. But how are you exiting? Most traders cut their winners short. They close before the target because they don't want to give back what they've already made. That single habit is what keeps most accounts from growing. Look at my numbers. 34% win rate, and the account is flying. Even at 20% wins and 80% losses, the account would still grow, because when your average winner is 5x your average loser, the math works in your favor regardless. Some of my trades hit 1 to 20 and beyond. Stops at 20, 30 pips, profits at 300, 500, 800, sometimes 1,500. The math does the heavy lifting. So forget about patterns, strategies, and chasing the next course or indicator. Focus on one thing: keeping your stop loss as small as possible and letting your winners run. That single shift is what changed everything for me, and it only became possible when I started using second-based charts to find my entries. Here's why second-based charts accelerate your development faster than anything else. On M5 or M15, you're waiting hours for setups to form. On second-based charts, the market moves through an entire cycle in a single session. You learn faster, you see more. The patterns you discover on seconds translate directly to higher time frames, but you can only find them and really internalize them in real time, at the fastest level. Backtesting history looks easy because you already know what happened. Trading live is a completely different skill, and on second-based charts, you build that skill hundreds of times faster than anywhere else. One rule, that's all you need: risk to reward. Everything else is secondary, and the best tool I've found for making that work in practice is second-based charts. You can find another way, nobody's stopping you, but if the goal is to minimize risk and maximize precision, it makes sense to go as deep into the market's microstructure as you can. And while you're putting in the work, You can copy my trades automatically, not as a crutch, but as proof. Proof that consistent profitability in this market is real. I know the doubts that creep in, that the market is rigged, that the big players are out to get your account specifically. There's some truth to that. You're up against professionals managing millions and billions, but they're not untouchable. There's plenty of room for you to take your share. All it takes is the discipline to hold a winning trade and the indifference to let a losing one go. That's it. Second-based charts for MT5 are available on the MetaQuotes marketplace or through my Telegram bot at a 20% discount. You can also subscribe to automatic trade copying in the same bot.